Well, I got a chance to see a hot redhead.
Well, hot redheads. There's only like 5 of them in Hollywood, so
They're all being pushed out. That's something we need
they?
to talk about, is the hot redheads being pushed out.
So Taylor,
pushed
tell
out
us
of
more
what?
about this replacement theory.
Yeah. They're taking all the big-titted, big-bootied redheads, and they're not putting them in movies anymore. And I know Kyle agrees with me on the redhead thing. You need more of them in
I agree with
hot
you on
redheads
all
in
the,
movies.
yeah, I like big-titted redheads. Those are the best women in the world. You know, and if I had a virus that I could release and it would spread like fire through this planet,
And it creates more. There are like brunette women waking up with bigger tits and red hair.
That's not what it would do.
No, Taylor's virus is pretty good.
My virus is better than your virus. Fucking sucks.
My virus is a lot meaner than your virus.
No, well, my virus is
wipe
about
out
love.
the non-big redheaded titty
And all the men,
except for you.
and all the men. I was gonna say, like,
it's just me and them. All 12 million of them.
See, that's the difference between us. You're trying to hoard. I'm trying to spread love.
This is what Fauci was actually working on.
Yeah, a chicken in every pot and a naked, big-titted, red-headed bimbo in every bed. That would be my FDR style campaign.
The
Get
New
lots
Deal.
of them. We invade Scotland or Ireland. Both actually. They both have lots of redheads. Ship them all over here. Only the good ones though.
Only the good ones.
Only the attractive ones.
Okay.
There's a scale at Ellis Island, and then we turn them back if it's too.
You don't
high.
need a scale. Just make the door so narrow that the big ones can't get through.
That's a good idea, and it's
quicker that way.
it's curved in the tit and ass area, so any amount there is good.
I have to put this out there. I think big tit fans are not forward thinking. Yeah. How long do you think this big titted hottie is going to stay that
When
way?
I think about a sexy woman, the first thing I think is, after I marry her, is she still going to be hot in 30 years? That's the first thing I think when I see a sexy woman.
Plan ahead.
really
yes,
like-
yes.
This is
You should be packing money aside.
I wonder
for your
what her butthole
retirement
looks like.
and finding some Emma Watson looking chick to marry.
No, that's
marry.
gay. No.
Yeah,
That's
it is
gay.
pretty gay
You-
to like
yeah.
Emma Watson. That's
No,
true.
we want that. I don't think I've ever been as triggered by a take of yours as that.
You want to marry a woman, you fucking homo?
Yeah. Gay?
Yeah, that's your thing. All right. You got me. No,
So
no.
what are you
should
going to
be-
do when you're elected to increase the amount of big-titted redheads?
Well, I am big on immigration policy, so that's just a side of things that people didn't understand before. It's I guess I'm very big on legal immigration from Scotland and Ireland specifically.
Yes. Yeah.
This is making a lot of sense.
I'm good with that.
Selectively open borders.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah. You just bring in absolute hotties.
That's literally how this country was founded: is hot Irish and Scottish women. So
Yeah. Just some
to a degree.
some big
And
like,
German.
potato.
Way more
plucking-
Germans than you think.
Oh,
It's wild that World War I, we didn't have any sort of issue at all. There were so many Germans here.
Yeah, I mean, even here in Texas, like up by like Fredericksburg and places, there's places, cities here, entire cities that are just completely German dominated. Like German restaurants, half of the strip is just German restaurants. Like it's a huge, like still pockets of Germanic influence.
You know what I'd love to see? One of those South American like Nazi villages that's all Germanic with the architecture and everything, and then there's fucking people still speaking the language and stuff. Some boys from Brazil type shit. I'd love to see that.
Did you see the one? It's down in Brazil. It's like this one town or whatever that is basically like descended from Confederates that left after the war. Ooh. And they still to this day dress up in like in fucking Confederate regalia, big Confederate flags, gone with the wind type of balls and everything. It's fucking wild.
That's bullshit. They need to adopt the culture of the country they move into.
Well, it looks like they've adopted it quite.
They're refugees. They're refugees, not immigrants. All right.
There's a big difference. I feel when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
That's not very woke of you.
But I also like
trying to tear away the culture of those poor refugees.
You remember when Trump won,
driven from their home by the wall of northern aggression.
Like I do like that they did what all the celebrities in like 2015 were like, if Trump wins, I'm moving to Canada. Like those guys were like, if it doesn't turn out right, I'm moving to fucking to be named country way down there. And then they went. Money where their mouth is. They're still flying the stars and bars, eating fried chicken, whatever they're doing down there, having a good time.
I guarantee you their food is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Southern food is great. It's like, but having great food when it's all fried, big cheat code.
Southern food with Hispanic influence.
So it's even spicier. That's better. I like that.
All right. I need good food that doesn't make you fat. I'm with Taylor on this. It's easy enough to just deep fry everything, and you can deep fry a banana and make it good.
Yeah, I still will eat it, but like it is a bit cheaty. Where it's like we make the best fried chicken, and it's like
Those
yeah.
Cuban
If I ate
Cuban
mediocre
plantains,
fried chicken, it's fantastic.
I've been eating at this Cuban restaurant. It's like $8 for this huge plate of rice, beans, and pulled pork. It's so delicious, and they put 3 little plantains on top of the pork. It's amazing. I love that food.
You like plantains now? You a plantain man?
I've always liked plantains. Yeah, I like bananas in general, but any sort of
Taylor.
banana.
Every show he talks about plantains.
Yeah, you can't get this guy and his fucking plantains. Just
Can't keep them away from me.
Just on and on and on.
You know I'm allergic,
Get him
right?
started in South America.
I like power through my allergy to eat more of them.
You're allergic
more
to bananas
plantains?
and
Yeah.
plantains?
Are plantains
My
the
whole
baby
mouth
bananas?
feels like I've been
Is that
chewing
what they are?
fiberglass when I eat a banana. But I love those things, so I like slice them up in cereal. Have a Benadryl.
I love bananas, but if they made my mouth hurt, I wouldn't eat them.
You don't like banana pudding? Banana pudding's worth a little pain.
Just a little plantain, a little Benadryl, and I just keep eating plantains till I see the Hat Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just,
Bananas do make any cereal. You can have, what is this shitty cereal? Total, right? They Total. Have
Total's
you guys
pretty
ever
rough.
had that? The Total is bullshit cereal.
Bran flakes of any kind, really.
You can put banana in it and turn it into a reasonable meal.
Not just banana. What was
It's a huge cereal
Plantains.
upgrade. Plantains and your Benadryl and your allergies and what you power through.
avocado? I'm also allergic to. I went down to Florida one time, and I was staying with this girl for like 3 or 4 days, and I'm on my best behavior here, trying to make a good impression. We're hooking up and everything. I've already sealed the deal, but like I like this girl. I'm trying to be cool cop. We go into like Chipotle or some shit, and I order this burrito, and I get guac on the burrito. He did Rogan today, like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Saw some highlights.
And Rogan shot the Cybertruck with his bow, like point blank range, which is like silly dangerous. I thought.
I don't trust any of this curated Cybertruck content, really.
That was curated.
I don't know.
That was super
I'll
spontaneous.
tell you what, when they did it live, the fucking window broke. Now you're telling me it's bulletproof? What'd they shoot at it?
Well, they didn't shoot the window.
I'm saying, what did they shoot at that? I'm saying the window was bullshit. It wasn't really bulletproof. And they claimed it was, but they couldn't lie about it because it was live. What is that? What are you telling me that stops bullets?
Yeah.
Horse shit.
Yeah,
Horse
why?
shit. I got a
Why?
9mm that'll shoot through one side and out the other.
I think not. He specifically
What?
talked about that today. He said he talked about shooting with 9mm and how like a normal car is made out of thin layers of mild steel, and he's got these big thick layers of stainless steel that are structural. You know, that's the structure of the car. So it'll stop. He said it would stop 9mm, and that specifically is 45 ACP. That will cycle a Tommy gun. I add that next part because if you shoot horse shit at it, that's underpowered. It won't cycle the Tommy gun.
I appreciate the subject matter expertise.
But it really depends on the makeup of the bullet. Now I'm on your side here to some extent. I know how to flub stuff. I could make a gun shoot and bounce off a regular.
What are
car,
the bullets
probably.
called that some ranges non-frangible? Frangible? Help me out.
Frangible ammunition would still shoot a hole through a car. I think it's more about the ricochet with frangible ammunition. It explodes, but it still carries some.
For
shatters.
people who
rather.
don't know, frangible ammunition. This is how I know frangible ammunition. A lot of gun ranges, specifically in New Jersey, require frangible ammunition if you're going to shoot like a 223, like an AR-15 there. So when these bullets hit the backstop or the bullseye or whatever, rather than penetrate, they kind of just turn to dust. Now, Kyle has a lot of experience. He shot steel targets with frangible ammo from like 6 inches away, and he's felt the dust like hit his skin, right? On the ricochet, if you call it a ricochet. And I'm just suggesting that this stuff designed not to penetrate would be much more likely to leave a dent.
Yeah.
You know, if we agree that the Cybertruck is maybe a little bit stronger than your freaking regular truck, and then maybe frangible ammo, something like that could both cycle a Tommy gun and not penetrate a truck. I don't believe it. I read recently the range estimates on every Tesla has never ever been met on any condition ever. They're just lies. They're not on a good day. They're not on our best day. They're literally lies. No one, even Tesla, has ever achieved their range estimate.
The 0
in real
60s are
life.
correct though, right?
I think so.
That's what they really hang their hat on.
Well, 0-60 is awesome, but if you want to live with it, your range estimate should be kind of true, right?
Fair.
And I just feel like Musk is a bit of a liar. You know, like these other companies, when they say your Ford can tow this trailer safely, it can. Then you got Elon Musk out there saying it tows a 747, right? And showing some video of it rolling downhill on the tarmac. And you're like, I'll agree your Cybertruck probably tows really well, like because it's an electric engine, you know, but you've turned something impressive into something that's actually a lie. I'll agree your Cybertruck might have doors that are a little more dent resistant or able to, but it's just
I think they're bulletproof. I think that his car is bulletproof to small arms, meaning 9mm, 45 ACP, and 12 gauge shotgun.
Why though?
Why what?
Like, why is that such a big selling point that it's bulletproof?
I don't think.
I think that
part of the mystique.
I think he likes saying that it's bulletproof. I mean, he but the reason it is because that's the structure of the car. Like when you look at like a Toyota Camry, that shit's all hanging on to the structure. The fenders and stuff aren't structural. It's just like it's just visual and for aerodynamics. It's just really thin, mild steel
paneling,
and then you've got like a structure underneath that. This is the car. Like I think that's thick stainless steel.
Do you actually? Would you buy like?
I want to. Depending on the pricing, cool I'm going to get that. I'm going to get it if the pricing is not insanity mode.
It's so ugly.
I like it.
It's such an ugly looking
The
car.
windshield wiper is hilarious to me. I think it's awesome. Every time I see one going down the road, I think it's cool. The only things that'll keep me from if it's more than like 80,000 for the base model, like get out of here. Like I'm not doing that. But they were talking about like a $40,000 or $50,000 base model, and then for like 60 or 65, you're in this 4-wheel drive, 2-motor hot rod thing that does 0 to 60 in like 3.5, 4 seconds, something like that. And I like the way it looks, especially not with the stainless steel look. I think you'd want to wrap it, and I bet there's going to be a lot of good wraps for that thing. But I like it. If it's got crazy blind spots that make it awkward, really awkward to drive, I wouldn't like that.
I want to share some more thoughts. The look of it to me is bold. I don't find it to be ugly. It's just different. And my problem with the look isn't that I don't enjoy looking at it. It's that I don't want that attention. Like if I pull up to, in this case, it was going to be to get gas. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But, you know, if I go to the Quickie Mart to buy a Monster Energy drink or something, and then 3 people want to ask me about my car, I don't actually like that. I get a lower version of that on a motorcycle, and I want to be like, yeah, I don't really talk to strangers, you know, but I don't. But it's where my heart is.
Just learn a little bit of sign language. You're good.
Ooh, good call.
That's smart. You don't have to learn it. Actually, they're not going to know. If you learn a little bit and they respond to you,
you're fucked. So what was that? Oh, the hidden costs frustrate me. Like, so you're like, hey, it starts at 40, but it's really 60 because you don't want to get like the cheapest one if they even offer it, which I think they don't.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, because they offer a Model 3 that's like 30 grand, but you can't have it. Like they literally won't make it for you. It's just a theoretical car that you might be able to get. But then there's the hidden costs. Like you need to put some amount of money into your house to make it a charging station.
Oh.
The cruise control is $10,000, something like that for the autopilot.
I don't want that.
That to me is a big part of the Tesla draw.
And I wouldn't charge it. I don't think you need to charge it.
You wouldn't charge it, huh?
I would
not last that long.
I said I wouldn't charge it at home. There's like charge stations all around me. Like when I would go somewhere, I'd go into a store, I'd charge it in the parking lot, right? Like
so to me, a big part of the draw is basically never going to get gas again. That's a major attraction. If every time I went home it topped off or whatever, 80% it off, then I would really like that. If you said, hey Woody, every time you charge it, you need to eat out while it sits there for 40 minutes. I'm like, oh.
My understanding was you could have like a slow charger that was just a wall outlet deal. You could they could plug that
8
in.
miles a day.
8 miles a day. See, I don't
On like
drive
a 110 volt.
I don't drive
8
that
miles a
much
day?
either. So it's like,
Me
Cool.
too. I could maybe get by with that, right? I actually drove a little bit yesterday, but it was like 8 miles.
Yeah.
But but like I'm the kind of guy 8 miles a day might be able to work.
that's on the top end of like when you do a lease, you do like 24,000 mile leases. That's kind of on the top end of like mileage, and 365 days a year, 8 miles a day. I don't know. That doesn't
calculable.
it doesn't it doesn't work out at all.
Yeah.
But if I move along quickly, you'll think I made a point.
Even I was sitting there doing the math. I'm like, this doesn't make any goddamn sense.
See, getting just debunked me right now. They all be like, God damn it, Kyle makes a lot of sense sometimes. I think the slow trickle charger will be fine for me. I'm not worried about the charging, is what I'm really going to say. Is if I occasionally I make the 2.5, 3 hour trek out to my dad and back, and it's 100 miles each way, roughly. Got plenty of range for that. We can charge it when we get there. And I don't know. There's just fast chargers all around me. I'm not downtown or anything, but
Right, but you're not in the boonies.
I mean, it's right near me.
How fast is the fast charger? Like, how
I
long is it?
don't
Because it
know,
takes like 2 minutes to fill up a tank and get 400 miles of range.
And also that, Taylor, your question's hard to answer because you don't typically go from 0 to 100. And also, the last 20% take nearly as much time as the first 80. That's not exactly right, but work with me. So, like, if you just spend all your time between like 20 and 80%, then you can get some quick charges. If you're in a rare situation where tomorrow's a special day, we're doing a big trip, then you would take it to 100. But that's not something you do all the time.
Okay, I didn't know that. That I don't like that though.
You've also
like
got the
that it has like
savings.
almost like a soft cap at 80% of convenience.
Well,
Yeah, it's bad for the battery, so you don't routinely take it to 100.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
You've also got it's easy to forget that you're not paying for that gasoline now, and you're not and there's lots of rebates, right? There's lots of tax breaks for those things, not rebates, but
I'm
tax
a little
incentives.
mixed on that. I feel like there were rebates for the first X amount of vehicles you made, and Tesla sold, like, they're done with that. So you can get a rebate on maybe a Nissan Leaf, but not a Tesla. But then I'm like, well, the Cybertruck's new. How does that factor in? And and they add more rebates all the time. Biden had an infrastructure bill. Did that have anything in it? So I'm not sure.
Yeah. Long story short, I'm absolutely still into the idea of getting the thing, even though it looks slightly different than originally advertised. And I like everything about it. I don't mind the electrical part. I don't need gasoline. I've still got a couple of gasoline cars if I just want to burn fossil fuels for no reason. If I need more range, it's
Or
not like,
maybe you have a special weekend where you're towing far.
man, I would hate to have to go to a different truck to tow if I've got a Cybertruck. I think that's the whole point. Like, how far am I towing? Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't have that
I
use
do
case.
weird
I just
tows
don't
every
have it.
once. Yeah, I do. It's not common, but I do. Well, unless you count towing a single motorcycle.
That's when you want to flex, though. When you're going to imagine you pull up to the paramotor thing, and you've already got a very nice truck, but
right.
With this thing.
See, but that's where our motives are different. I get too much attention already.
Oh no, you're gonna have to set up a whole booth. Sell some keychains.
You would, right?
You'll get rid of those Tech Tuesday shirts.
I thought I'd never give them all out.
Pile them bitches up. Like, I'll get some merch.
Yeah. I'm in that silver truck. Ask me anything. Like Steven Crowder.
Yeah, I like it.
The look of them. They
I
look
don't
like
the look of them.
No, they have. I don't remember where I saw this, but I saw somebody be like, "This is not the car someone designs if they think the future looks bright." Like that. Like it looks just. It's like Mad Max-ish. Like it looks dystopian.
I think
looks
it's more
the angles. I hate how hard the angles are.
I love
it's
it.
just not
That's
a
what I
very
like.
attractive car.
On our trip last weekend, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, we saw a couple Corvettes, and I'm like, man, did Corvettes get really, really good looking, or have I just hit a certain age?
No.
What do you think they do?
Yes.
This might be my fucking liberal flag waving, but all the people calling for his murder prosecution, I think it might be related to his skin color. They assumed he had homicidal intent. on Reddit.
I've seen
elsewhere.
both. Like, well, number one, like the hockey Reddit shut down and banned anyone who said anything other than freak accident. And my initial take, because I only watched the clip twice before I sent it to like Kyle, and my initial take was, which I now go back on, was that it was just an accident, that he that it was an
He
accident.
was falling forward and he hit him with like the heel, right?
Like that. I only watched the clip through because it was all gory and horrid, and I didn't want to watch it again. And I was like, no one in hockey tries to kick like that, so it must have been a goofy fall. Then yesterday morning, I saw somebody clip it down to super slow-mo that got rid of all the blood and gore parts. And so I watched it probably 100 times with like the initial go through of like the way I watch clips like that in hockey, because I'm familiar with the sport, is I'll be like, okay, the next few playthroughs, I'm going to look at his stick and I'm going to see, does his stick get caught on anything that redirects his momentum? No, it does not. All right, I'm going to look at his outer edge on his right foot, and I'm going to look at his inner edge on his right foot. What is the result of this? Does he catch an edge? Does he impact someone in a way that changes his momentum? No, he doesn't. Like, my conclusion from it is that I think it's ridiculous to say the guy went in there with homicidal intent. He didn't mean to kill him, but he absolutely meant to use his leg in that way to impede him. Like, no one in the history of hockey has fallen in that way, especially with the physics don't make sense. That if you were to catch an edge on your right inner edge, you wouldn't fall that way. He intentionally lifted his leg because the play it was happening, the black guy who did the kicking is a defenseman, and the guy was trying to gain the offender who died was trying to gain entry to the zone. The defenseman badly played it, missed his assignment, and he tried to very recklessly use his leg to prevent the guy who's now dead from gaining access to the zone. And he lifted his leg very intentionally for the kick and like hit him in his upper body. That's something I saw people posting examples of Clint Malerchuk, of Zednik, of the other times people have been caught. I think Taylor Hall a few years ago. And every other example is like the person's pushed down into a fray. The legs are flying. Like, there's an impact that causes it. This was a guy who intentionally tried to kick him, to use his leg to prevent him gaining access to the zone. He didn't do it to try and kill him, but the result of it is the guy died because of a reckless play. Day one hockey, keep your blades on the ground, keep your stick on the ground. Like, no professional player accidentally falls leg into upper body in that way. And so 100%, like, he is culpable in that guy's death because of his recklessness. But the idea that it's murder and like premeditated trying to kill him is incorrect.
Originally?
I don't know where the two guys are from. The guy who died is from Canada, I believe. I don't know where the other.
It was
usually
a French league, right?
An English league, the English professional league. So most of those guys are still from the U.S. or Canada. But yeah, that was like my takeaway after I watched it 100 times. Is like, the kick was intentional, the outcome of it was not. But as a professional hockey player, you have a response. The same way that, like, if someone killed someone in the UFC ring because they drove an elbow down onto the back of someone's head and that guy ended up dying, he knowingly did a move that's reckless. He didn't intend the guy to die, but he did. And so
I wonder how much he tried. I have a quick story. I told it before, so I'll zoom through. I'm playing hockey. We're up against the boards. And if you've never done this, the puck gets kind of trapped and everyone uses their stick and their skates to try to like wrestle the puck in their own control and then give it to their teammate. That's the move. Okay. So while me and another guy are doing this, maybe he hits my skate with his stick or something, which is a normal legal thing to do. And it causes me to fall. But this is the sport. My reaction to that was to kick at his skate and make him fall. He didn't fall. I got a penalty. The thing is, in hockey culture, that is a terrible no-no. 100%. You do not kick with the bottom of your skates. That is it. Like, I'm embarrassed, and that was 20 years ago or something. As I should be.
You are forgiven.
They have your picture outside the rink.
And but like afterwards, I was like, oh my God, I really did do that. Like, everyone saw it. Even my own team is like, bro, what were you thinking? Right. And that's my team. The other team, they weren't as forgiving. And, so like, this guy had just got beat on the play and his move was to sort of fling his leg in the other guy's way. I'm like, I wonder if did he make a split decision, a bad one like I did? Maybe. Or maybe
It could be. I saw people being like, "Oh, he has a hit. Like he's the highest penalty minute player in the league. He has a history of like intending to injure other players, which is possible. There are players like that, especially in non-NHL leagues, who are trying to be dirtier than they need to be. But that didn't even factor into it. Like I watched that clip 100 times with my initial go through being my previous day's opinion, which is what I misinformed our patrons about, where I was like, no, there's no way it was intentional. Hockey players don't try to kick like that. They don't do that. Watching it, he did. Like it is very clear. Legs don't move that way to try and recover from a caught edge. Like he kicked him on purpose.
But what do we do next year when he takes out another guy?
I would imagine that he is not going to be playing anymore.
We might have to suspend him until he learns his lesson.
How many minutes do you get for a second?
He should be banned from all professional hockey leagues. You cannot behave that way in the end. Hockey's a dangerous fucking sport. You can't have someone throwing bladed legs around. That's absurd. They charged Todd Bertuzzi with assault correctly for what he did to Steve Moore, and this is much more egregious than that. The guy had his throat slit.
Those people know how to let the guys play.
Wait, Bertuzzi? Are you sure he didn't hit Brashear?
Bertuzzi had a number of dangerous things, but I'm pretty sure that the real dangerous one was when he ruined Steve Moore's career.
Oh, actually, I take it back now. I remember it like you. I think I don't know.
Yeah,
I remember there's one where he grabbed Brashear's necklace or something, or maybe it was vice versa, and they didn't want to fight.
They should be wearing a necklace anyway. That's reckless.
True. It is not a thing a hockey player should be wearing. And I think I think if someone rips your necklace off during a game, you should be like, well, that's kind of on me.
What if you get like horse collared kind of and it like spins and like chainsaws into your fucking neck or something? You know what I mean? If it's a chain, like if I'm hanging on to it as you keep moving and it like sort of slips and chainsaws and like cuts your fucking throat.
I hear you. I imagine it being more breakaway than that, but
these guys are
I would hope so. These guys with their tungsten necklaces.
With hockey, have you guys already talked about that dude who got fucking killed on the ice the other day?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about it briefly.
Taylor misinformed our audience.
That was the goriest sports injury or death of all time. It encompasses both. There is no more gory instance I've ever even heard of for a professional sport. He died, and you see him coming off, and you see his face is so white. You see the man's face. You know, they zoom fucking in because they don't know. They don't know. I'm sure they wouldn't have zoomed in if they'd known.
Yeah, they shouldn't have zoomed in on that. Yeah, that was.
Is that available to find online?
It was everywhere.
The impact, but
it was rough.
Available. What seems to happen is the guy seemed like he threw his leg behind him in an effort to prevent I think he was the puck carrier from going towards the goal like he wanted him to.
Yeah, but he didn't clearly. What he was saying, I misinformed the patrons, which I did. No. Because the first day they only had the version of the clip where you could see like all the blood and gore, so I only watched it through like twice. And so during the hangout, I was like, I'm sure it's just like a total accidental thing. Wouldn't mean to kick. Like you would never mean to kick somebody in hockey. What are you, crazy? And then they clipped it down to where the gore was out of it. And the next day, I ended up watching like 100 times, trying to like ascertain what exactly had happened. And after like just a few watch throughs of that, because I was able to actually pay more attention when I wasn't dreading the gore and the death, I was like, oh no, this guy 100% intended to kick. Like he intended to kick him. Like you do not raise your leg that way in a hit ever. There's a reason that there haven't been anybody posting clips of similar incidences. Like they'll post clips of like, hey, here's other times that the skate goes high up. And it's like, yeah, that guy got hit in the back into the bench. That's why his feet came up. Yeah, this guy got hit in the back and his feet came up the way physics works.
Kick isn't the word I'd use though, right? Like he was hoping to put his shin in that guy's path. Like kick to me is something you do with your toe. But if
he wanted to put his foot in that guy's path, it would be a normal tripping and he would have reached out backwards towards the guy's shins. This guy raised his leg deliberately and kicked him in his upper body. So like it's a very clear that he intended to kick. He didn't mean to. I don't believe he meant to kill him. but he did mean to kick him.
He put his leg in front of the guy like a turnstile would in an effort to stop him there. That's what I thought I saw, but you saw it differently.
Yeah,
so
it hit so much higher than that on his body. Like tripping is a very common, as you know, like play in hockey as a defenseman, because what the play is that the guy who killed him was the defenseman, and he had missed his coverage, and he was attempting to keep that guy from entering the zone. And usually you would take a bad penalty, like slash and break his stick, or kick back, which he shouldn't have even taken a fucking penalty there. Like there was plenty of time to recover that play, and he instead used, like, he lifted his left leg up to the guy's upper body and kicked him. And that is beyond the pale. Like that doesn't have, like, I've seen lots of clips in the past week or few days of people showing, like, hey, here's what some of the other incidences, like Clint Malarchuk or Zednik or these other people who have been cut by skates, and they're all wildly different. Like,
do you think when he comes back, like, he'll be like, yeah, don't fuck with me. You saw what happened to so and so. You'll be next. Like, he'll be like that kind of enforcer. Like, I'd be afraid of that guy, right?
Yeah. Hopefully, he's never allowed back into any competitive league at all. Hopefully, he's banned for life.
Oh,
yeah. You cannot kick people. I want him for my team.
Leg. Like, if I'm that kind of guy, like if I got one of those beer league hockey teams or whatever that we're trying to keep going.
Beer league? You want that guy?
Get me that guy. Get me Jose the Killer Montoya. Like, get me him.
Yeah. No. I hope that guy can never step foot on the ice and play in a professional game again.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm over here wondering if he's going to get charged with manslaughter.
He might. Like, I don't know how it'll end up panning out, but like,
was it in England?
It was in the English league, so I don't know what their laws are, but like, I don't think I would be shocked if he intended to kill that guy. I think that's far fetched, but he intended to kick him, and the result of the kick was he died.
Right, which is why it's not murder, but still manslaughter. I mean, like you hurt the guy.
Well, I don't know what their laws are.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it there, but like it's a fucked up clip. Like you watch and you're like, okay, like I went through without the gore one, and I was like, I must watch it, like, not exaggerating, 100 times. I'd be like, all right, let me see if he catches an edge. Let me see if his stick pulls him into it. Let me see if he falls into this. And it's like, there's a reason there's no other clips or examples being posted of, like, see, here's the time that Colton Parayko lifted his left leg into the torso of an opponent. And it's like, no, that does not happen. Like, you don't do that. It
reminds me of that famous clip where the guy, same thing, where he got his neck slit and he's like just grabbing his fucking neck.
Yeah.
Because apparently that guy survived.
Clint Malarchuk survived. Yeah, he was a goalie, and it was someone got knocked over and went into him skates first. So very different scenario there. And then a lot of the other ones are...
His medic was special. I feel like I want to talk about that part, right? I think maybe someone knows better than me, but the medic, the team doctor, these NHL teams have doctors on the bench, was a Vietnam vet who had some experience with similar injuries. So he went in there and like pinched off the jugular or carotid, I don't know.
Yeah, and look that up the other day. The same thing. They're just like, one's the blood vessel and one's the
vein, one's the artery.
Thank you. Yeah.
You want to keep them both intact. But yeah, last night on TNT,
everything.
I think it was last night on TNT that this came up briefly, like during the hockey game, and even Gretzky, like, obviously they're not going to go in on it totally, but Gretzky, like, very deliberate, was like, yeah, the so-called accident. Like, if you watch that and you've seen all the ways that people get clipped with skates, generally people get clipped with the toe or the heel of the skate because they're falling forward or falling back. This guy got caught with like the middle of the skate blade. Like, it's tragic. Like, the guy literally died.
When you said that people would not wear the neck guard, I imagined like a big Hans device, like this big fucking Darth Vader shit. It's literally a kerchief made of Kevlar.
Yeah.
Throw that bitch on, boys.
In regards
to neck warmer. It's a neck warmer.
It's like the old body armor that they used to put, like, that you could button it on to both sides of like a Kevlar vest. It was just like a little Kevlar protector that they give to people.
Zach, can you show a picture of it? It to me looks like I don't know, like a sandbag tube that you wear around your neck like a collar. Does that sound right, Taylor?
Yeah. Similar. I
saw kids.
They're itchy and they are uncomfortable. Oh. And I remember that, like, my dad would try and make me one when I was playing goalie. And any time that he wasn't at the game, I wouldn't wear it because I hated it. And there was also like a perceived thing of like, you're kind of lame, like for wearing it.
I had
and I was a
two
kid.
issues. One was it made me hot. I'm a player who gets hot a lot. I didn't wear a shirt under my shoulder pads or anything. It was just shoulder pads and jersey. And
That smelled great.
Yeah.
yeah, you'd lose that bet.
Rancid.
I did store it in the garage, like to dry
Pressure
out
wash it off
but,
at the
but it
beginning of the
smelled bad.
season.
Burn
But
some
yeah. So I
sage
got
around
really
it.
hot, and that neck thing, that turtleneck,
Oh,
essentially would
Christ,
make me
depends.
warmer, so I didn't
Mhm.
like it. The other issue, maybe even as big a deal, is it was uncool. And even as like it's a grown up in beer league hockey, it's like everyone's gonna think I'm a pussy if I wear this. There's no one else wearing
I mean,
it.
that kid looks like a pussy if we're being honest, right? I'd bully the shit out of that kid.
He might get bullied,
That
but I
kid's
guess it's
name
probably
is-
required now.
Like that kid's name's like
Oh.
Kirsten or something. That's like half a girl's name.
Random
he's-
attack on child successful.
His
Yeah,
name's
but
Tracy.
you can
His
tell
name's
by
Candace.
his you can tell from his hair that he's a gamer. He's good.
I was gonna say that,
Yeah.
Taylor. I spotted the hockey hair also.
Yeah, hockey hair. You can tell. He's got flow. He's probably got dangles. He's dominating all the other 12-year-olds, however old that kid is. Yeah, but I
Right.
remember like these ones.
It's probably literally hero hockey.
Zach,
kid or
bring
something.
up the plexiglass ones that goalies would wear hanging off their mask back in the day. Like my dad like kind of held my feet to the fire on it and was like, you either have to wear this, which like I felt was like total goober mode because like people would make comments like on my own team and be like, oh, you're wearing a neck guard. And I should have at the time been like, I'm the fucking goalie, bro. Like that kind of shit. No, that's a face
not
mask.
it. No,
But
it's large, clear, and
yeah,
it hangs
plexiglass
almost
thing
in
that is
dangles.
tied to the bottom of your mask and it just hangs off your chest here. They used to wear them. Yeah, exactly
close.
that.
Yeah.
That thing there. Usually a little clearer than that. That's a low quality helmet, but like that, I thought was like it was more accepted as like cooler. And so my dad let me get away with that one. And then
like I've
a
seen
time
pros
came when
wear
I was
this.
like 12 that I just stopped wearing them at all and everything was fine. But every once in a while, like you'd go down to make a save and like you knew it was coming either towards your head or your upper chest and the puck would like clip just the bottom of your face mask. And you'd have kind of like, because if the puck hits you in the face mask really hard, like it jams the whole thing into even maybe your nose, your chin, like all that. And like I'd even at like 11 have a realization of like that could have just hit me in the throat, which like it's just another 11-year-old shooting it, but it's a fucking piece of vulcanized rubber. It's hard.
In the league I played in, face masks were optional. There's two kinds. There's one that's made out of really strong wire that we called a cage, and the other is like a plastic shield that goes in front of you. Anyway, every single game, something would happen that made me glad I was wearing it. It might be I get hit with someone's stick, a puck. It might be somebody else who like doesn't have it, loses a tooth, or half a tooth or something like that. And I was just like, fuck. Cages are for good-looking people.
Oh yeah, like men's league, it reverses where like you see a guy in men's league going around like he's Chris Pronger with no face mask on at all. You're like, that guy's an idiot, like a true blue moron. You're not a tough guy. You work at the bank. Like, you stop it. Like, you want to have a big scar. You don't have NHL fucking
I think it's
dental
cool until
insurance.
he eats one. I think it's cool until he eats one because up until that point, I just believe that he's like a pitcher and he can just pop, just fucking catch that thing every time.
I'm with Kyle. And also, it's cool if he's good, right? The people that didn't wear cages in my league were in like the AHL 2 years ago, and or they're like 48 now, but they have time in the NHL. And it's like, yeah, well, fucking, of course that guy's not wearing a cage. He didn't play with one his whole career.
I mean,
me on the other hand, I have a mortgage.
I came from like a parenting style, right? Where you were a fucking pussy if you wore a helmet on your bicycle. So that's the context.
Okay.
But at the same time, this is a contact sport where you have everybody's got a goddamn razor on their feet. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. I get the helmets.
Everybody has sticks too, which like very like day one hockey lessons is like you have like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds wearing razor blades on their feet and like holding a weapon. And so like they drill into your head like skates are always stay on the ice, stick always stays on the ice. And like what's usually the problem for young kids is the stick, because they'll get to skating and like not realize they're swinging it around like a lunatic and like scoop it up into someone's like under their face mask and hit them in the eye or the nose or something.
Right.
And so you have to really drive that into kids. Keep your skates down, keep your stick down. This isn't fucking soccer. Which I remember, I say that because that is what a coach said to me. Like, this isn't soccer. Like, get be safe out there. Not ripping on soccer. Fine sport. I don't know the rules.
It's not.
I'm not familiar
Stupid
with the
fucking
rules.
sport. Fucking savages.
Not everyone's manly. Kyle.
We talked
Let 'em
about
have a
the
sport.
fucking run around on that big fucking field, you lazy bitches.
I mean,
You lazy bitch. Well, if there's one thing soccer players are not, it's lazy. they're
Look at their GDP in those countries. It's wintertime, boys. It's cold outside.
It is.
but
The
yeah.
grocery store had a Christmas song playing today. That's bullshit.
Fuck that.
It's the day after. Yeah, I'd say it's 2 days after Halloween. But yeah,
Did you see that stat about how much money Mariah Carey makes every holiday season from the
Good for
replays
her,
of that
man.
song? I think it's $12 or $16 million or something every year, just from the huge amount it gets played around the holidays.
It's unsurprising. It's on everywhere.
It's all I want for Christmas is you. It's that one, right?
And it's a good song like once. But by the time it's like December 1st, I'm over it.
When do you put up the tree?
Last year, I don't think I even put up a tree because I didn't have anybody over for Christmas at my house. This
That must have
year,
been cheery.
yeah, but real cheery. It depends. I probably won't
You just
put any
sit there and
different-
read Allan Poe.
Just
Have a little-
I just feel sad. Yeah, I probably will put up decorations this year if we use my house for like my family meetup. But if not, I honestly probably won't put up a tree. But the time that's appropriate to do it is any time following Thanksgiving, whether it's the day after or a week after. It just cannot be prior to Thanksgiving. That's inappropriate.
week before Thanksgiving. That's when she's going up.
And that's too early.
I had to
Really?
negotiate to get that. Some parties would have the tree up right now.
Oh,
look,
no.
Halloween's over. It's Christmas time, baby.
You almost had a Christmas tree up on November 1st.
Yep.
I'll
Yep.
be right back.
Yeah,
That's insane.
It's not going to happen though. I'll do a week before Thanksgiving. That seems okay. I do like the Christmassy season. I suppose I like that fucking tree, but I don't want it up that long. I don't want it up that long. So how are we doing this trivia, and in what way are we going to conspire against Woody?
Text each other. I guess that would be the easiest way to conspire.
That'd be so shitty. Oh, can you imagine making him do 30 minutes of trivia only and rig the game so he's gotten 0 and that we're just we're excelling through questions way over our heads and he's just like, I don't understand, dude. It would be the tent flap all over again.
Oh, he would not be pleased if he was like, texting, cheating the whole time.
No.
And I don't even know how us
The
texting
rainfly,
would help to cheat in this because
I guess
the
if
way
it
we're
was-
doing it is Chiz is supposed to hop on and then quarterback.
You can just give us the
trivia.
answers.
Yeah, I
You can
guess
give me and you the
just
answers.
text
Make
us
the questions hard as fuck, but not give Woody any answers. And then we just sit there and act like it's super easy. Like, of course. Like we're expanding.
That
Are we
would
still
be
talking
funny.
about Christmas tree decorations?
Yeah.
It is
Jackie
Jackie and I get along well, but Christmas tree decorations are our most heated topic. It drives me batty. This is my side of it. Of course, you'll get my biased version. But this is it. Sometime in November, maybe now, maybe 2 weeks from now, she'll start poking away at the Christmas decorations. Now, we have a big house, so decorating it is a huge job.
Mhm.
So my house is it takes 3 men hours to get all the Christmas decorations down from 2 attics. And then in that state, you can't even walk through the fucking house. There are like paths in the Game of Thrones room between all these ornaments. How many Christmas trees do you think we have? It's 5. It's 5. We have 5 Christmas trees in our house. Why?
Time out, flag. All right. So
It's too many.
look, there's nothing wrong with having not only 5 Christmas trees, but 5 fantastic rooms to put them in. But here's the thing. Because you can afford all those things, you can also afford a man to come over and put all that shit together while you sit there and drink
It's her
your eggnog.
passion, though, right? It's her passion.
He'll
She
help
wants
her.
to be-
You sit.
I don't want this mess in my home, right? And her side of it goes something like this: this is Christmas. I make a magnificent Christmas for you people. My side is, imagine I parked my 8 motorcycles inside the house and left them all the fuck over the place and polished them every day from mid-November to like April when we finally
Smells
put
like
all this shit
gasoline in
away,
the Game
right?
of Thrones room.
And I'm like, baby, I'm polishing these motorcycles for you.
Got
This
quick dry on
family
the floor.
needs motorcycles with exhausts that shine on the inside.
Yeah.
It's like, Woody, I think maybe you're going over the top here. And this isn't really for the family. This is for you. And you'd be right. And she says this year she's going to do it in such a way that she only brings down the decoration she's working on so that it doesn't like fill the house with stuff. But she's already working on it. She's making fish themed ornaments, corals out. She's molding clay and like poking the little polyps and making I could get you some. They're in the kitchen right now. They're on my kitchen counter because they take over the whole house. They're right below me.
But you don't have to take part. You're just mad because of the congestion in the home.
Yes. But like that's where I eat. That's where I eat my meals. And now that there's a seat. We even call it Dad's seat. This is where I typically eat, is by this kitchen island.
Mhm.
And it hasn't been available for 5 days. And I guess it'll open up again in like February.
I'm starving. Yeah.
Don't go crazy. She
I'm
delivers
sitting
it
over
to
the
my
sink
recliner.
like an animal.
But now I have to balance my food on the armrest of the recliner. It's awful. Who could live like this?
Okay, that I am empathizing so much with how annoying that would be. On November 2nd, kids were getting candy 2 days ago, and you're already 5 days in to missing
Something like
meal.
that.
Pre-Halloween Christmas decorations is psychotic.
She's hand making the ornaments and stuff for this year. She does it all the time. I mean, in some ways, it's like above and beyond super wife, right? And in other ways, it's like this. If you want to be super wife, there are other avenues we can pursue.
Yeah.
This isn't the one that lights my fire. So
does she take all of it out of you're the one taking it out of the attic, let's be real. And then once it's all out of the attic and taking up your common space, is she doing all the work of setting up the trees and hanging the ornaments, or is it like you're conscripted into every bit of this?
She does 95% of it. I shouldn't, steal valor or anything like that. Yeah. Every so often something's tall, or sometimes there'll be something to figure out. Like, hey, Woody, I have these LEDs, but I don't have a power supply for them. How do we chain all these together and get them going?
You got 10,000 tangled lights. Could you get that untangled for me? Find the bad bulb.
Your house is probably a nightmare to put lights on the outside everywhere.
Oh, it's a thing, yeah. And like, or there'll be like a I know we have one thing that plays music and the skaters skate around it, and it's like
this is all for you guys because no one can hear that from the road.
Oh yeah, it's inside. Dude, we have Christmas decorations.
Inside.
They're like 15 feet up. Our rooms are really tall, so we have a ladder in the home for months that is 14 feet tall, something like that. Like, it's a really tall ladder and it's heavy. And I'm complaining too much. I don't mean to throw her under the bus, but it is.
This is try to convert her to Judaism, make it simplify things a little.
This is a strong plan.
It'd just be a bunch of menorahs then. Whatever holiday you give her, she's gonna
burn the place down with those menorahs.
Women love decorating. And so they're gonna make the Did she get really into Halloween decorations? And so, like, as those are coming down, Christmas?
She did the first year or two, but we literally had 0 trick-or-treaters, so now we don't do that.
Yeah.
So it's really Christmas. She's getting all of her annual decoration.
Well, there's Easter shit to be done now. Now that the kids are older, it's less of a thing. There were like baby powder footprints and stuff all over the house back in the day. With the Easter bunny. I don't know. I guess the Easter bunny had very
like evidence that he had come in the house.
Exactly. Yeah.
But they were human feet, or
well, she would do it in such a way like there wasn't like human. Maybe it was just the balls of her feet and her toes that would make little rabbit prints or something.
I'm going to tell you right now, one of the more terrifying parts of Paranormal Activity was when they put that baby powder on their floor and they saw that a goat man had been walking through the neighborhood. So you showed me that as a kid, and I'm terrified.
That would be scary. Almost as scary as having your dinner chair taken for what, a sixth of the year? Like how long is it going to be by the end?
Too much. Sixth of the year would just be 2 months. No, more than that.
Oh,
because the decorations don't go down on Christmas Day. They go down like for Easter or something. Like,
no, I full-throatedly endorse your opinion on this. You're not whining at all. This is an understandable thing to be frustrated about. 5 Christmas trees. That just
Yeah.
lessens the importance of each one.
They're not all like,
they're
there's
themed?
a primary Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And then some of them are like quick to go up, and some of them are just smaller, but also have like handmade decorations and shit. all over.
Did
No
you
real
ever-
trees.
Yeah,
That would be
no
the
ones.
best if she was like, I need 5 live Christmas trees every year.
We've done real trees, but we haven't done them
Trees.
lately. Yeah.
Wow.
They smell
I'm
nice.
gonna have a real tree in their house for 4 months. Like, that's
Right?
the thing.
It's like this has been dead since March. Can we get rid of it, please?
Yeah,
At this point,
no,
let's just roll forward to the next year.
I'm like, it's coming. No, it's already started. Like, I kind of want to get you. I want to show you. She's made like coral reefs, Christmas ornaments downstairs in the kitchen,
Damn.
and you can tell she puts like all this love and care into it. I just object to the notion that it's for us. Like,
Yeah, it's for her. She's having a fun time, and that's fine. You need hobbies, but when it conquers the whole house, and it would take an enormous amount of decorations to conquer your house.
Yeah, but
Particularly like the
dude.
really high traffic important areas, like where you eat.
yeah, but that's
you eat
where
every day, probably.
Yeah.
It's a daily use chair.
Dude. it-